Hello, I'm glad you're here. Today, let's talk about sin brought evil. When the world began, in the first 3 chapters of Genesis, God's plan was perfect. In the Garden of Eden, He ensured everything was put in place. He made it so beautiful. The land was described as exceptionally pure in Genesis chapter 2, 10 to 14, 16 and 18, and with beautiful flowers, trees, and even gold and precious stones. But the Lord warned Adam, "You may freely eat the fruits of every tree in the garden, except the tree of knowledge of good and evil. If you eat its fruit, you are sure to die." And in Genesis 3, it says they ate the fruit, and God drove them out of the garden and caused the snake that deceived even more than other animals. Thus suffering affected us all. We groaned in painful childbirth, hard labor to earn a living, experienced griefs and afflictions, flood and earthquakes, outbreaks of disease, to mention but few. A trace of the calamity of sort are the plagues experienced by the people then due to sin or disobedience, from the book of Exodus chapter 7 to Exodus chapter 11. First was when the Lord sent Moses to Pharaoh. He said, "Since you refuse to let my people go to worship me, Moses, strike the water of Nile with the staff, and everywhere in the land." Then water turned to blood. Second was when God instructed Aaron to raise the staff in his hands over all the rivers, and frogs came out and covered all the land, even in their houses. He was still stubborn. Again, God made dust turn into swarms of gnats, lice all on them and their animals. Fourthly, the Lord sent swarms of flies into their houses, but spared where his people live. The king was still stubborn, and God struck their livestock with a deadly plague. They died, yet the king was still stubborn to let the people go and worship their God, the God of heaven. The 6th time, God instructed Moses and Aaron again to spread ashes like fine dust, and boils broke out on the people and animals. Even their magicians couldn't do anything to salvage them. Yet the king's heart was still hardened, as earlier predicted by God, and he sent a devastating hail and thunderstorms with continuous lightning to strike people and animals. Even in the history, there has never been a storm like that. And Pharaoh confessed, "I have sinned, and the Lord is the righteous one, and my people and I are wrong." But he was still adamant. The Lord said, "How long will you refuse to submit to me?" The 8th plague was now the worst locust swarms that devoured the plant that survived the storms. God hardened the heart of Pharaoh again, and he made darkness to cover the land for 3 days, so that the people could not see themselves, but there was light in the other side of the people of God. And Pharaoh warned Moses never to come and see me again. The Moses was highly respected by the king and his officials. Now, the 10th time, God declared all firstborn children and livestock dead. Even at that, he wouldn't listen, as God hardened him so. The Lord did more miracles. Today, what are those sins people still hold on to? This calls for re-evaluation, to repent and submit to God for total deliverance from evil upon the earth.